do. So, what happened? He'll send you a check for the royalties later. Okay, where's that though? I did. Well, I can actually get the chairs out here. Oh no, somebody took the chairs away. Well, I can't do the chairs. Sit on the amps. Yeah. This is sort of rustic. Remember when we used to sit on the amps when we were kids? Okay. So, Wings. Yes. 30 years later, when you made 30,000 more, when you made that movie, yeah. How the hell did that happen? Like, I mean, it's not like you just came out and gave a performance. It's like you went after everyone in Hollywood like a vicious animal.
Well, yeah. I was actually doing a soap opera at the time, really. I was doing this thing called The Young and the Restless, which was, let's face it, that's a show about hair. And then it's a show about women. And then it gets around to the guys who basically support everything. Just, you know, every now and then you have a line. Most of the time it's going meaning. And I was the biggest person in all of Genoa City. I mean, my character was like, can I help you? You know, and he had no genitalia. He's like a Ken doll. You know, and this part came up. And after 4 years of doing this and playing the brother of David Hasselhoff, I thought this was an opportunity. So what I did is my audition was I had to meet with the president of Afghan Embassy, and then Frank Capra Jr., son of, you know, right? So I go in there and I know I've got to make some kind of impact. So I wear this steer belt, big long horns, seriously. And as I'm talking to these people, and they're all very kind of uptight executives, you know, don't cross this line, you know, audition for a cheap little actor, man. And I took the belt off very slowly. I was talking to him, right? And I kind of wrapped it around my hand. And I walked up to Bob Ramey's desk, the president of Afghan Embassy, and I looked him right in the eye, and I just went, BAM! Is that what you're fucking looking for? That's when Ramrod was born. I just didn't give a damn. I didn't care what they did. And that was Ramrod. If you ever look at him, there's no character other than Jaws. That's all this guy is sharp. He has no redeeming qualities. His eyes are even black, you know, and he just does whatever he wants to do. So, and that's, I think, what was really unusual. The violence in that film, I always felt was in the eyes. It wasn't, you know, in cutting and slashing. Well, there's a bit of that, but it was basically in the eyes of this guy, you know. So that's how I got the role.
So, and so what you would do every day is you would get up early in the morning, go and do Young and the Restless all day.
Young and the Useless.
and then you'd go, and this was obviously a night shoot, and you shoot this all night. You wouldn't get any sleep.
Right.
And then you would go back and Young and the Restless by day,
right.
This by night. You didn't sleep, and it must have been a pretty intense experience.
Yeah.
Is that where a lot of that came from? Was just like the sleep deprivation? You're like a caged animal.
Yeah.
You're so good.
Well, and that's basically it. I mean, no sleep. But I would go to the makeup chair, and this insane guy, you know, the guy who played the guy with the tattoo on his head and the nipple ring. This was 1981. I mean, these things weren't being shown at all. So he was a hairstylist. He was an ex-SEAL in Vietnam, and his father was CIA. I mean, this was all this stuff, and this guy had such history. And he would begin with my hair, and he'd put that black stuff on the hair, and get a little thing, the curl, you know, and it's like, you know, get that little Elvis thing going on a little bit, and then the makeup would go on, and those scratches, you know, and then that turquoise shirt would come on. And man, I tell you, I walked in that makeup chair or room, one man, and walked out a totally different human being, you know, and just scared the hell out of everybody. My mother stopped talking to me. I had to do like a comedy before she could, you know, get nice to me. You know.
Probably the shirt was maybe the finishing touch, maybe the cherry on top of
That's
all
right.
it. You get that shirt on and then forget about your ramrod. So I get the feeling that probably everybody could have gone to this movie without that much intensity, but I think about this movie a lot, every day, for many hours. Maybe you went on the set of this movie and everybody was like, oh, Wings is really turning it up. We better step our game up hard. Did that happen?
Well, I don't know. You know, I don't know what they were really thinking. I mean, we were all pretty damn good friends at the time. You know, I don't know if they were like stepping it up because of what I was doing. What I had was a lot of freedom, which you don't see in actors. Actors don't get this. You know, it's like we're working for the white man, just like you guys are. It's like, you know, can I please? You know, just a little more. And you know, and they're constantly going. Excuse me, this is over the top. I don't think Middle America's alive. I think you'll scare them. You know, and you're like, going, they want to be scared. You know, have you been to Middle America? No, but I fly over. You know, it's true. You know, they don't know about Austin. They don't know about you people. Hello? Oh. You know, they know about the 1950s and, you know, what the public will want, you know. We're not mature enough to deal with things. So this was like, this producer, Sandy Howard, was kind of a B producer, you know. He saw what I was doing and just went to the director and said, leave this guy alone, just let him go. And for some reason, all that freedom, you didn't have to think, you just did, you know. And it was a great time to not just act, but just do anything you wanted to do, you know, and get away with it and not go to jail.
So, did you ever get a little bit too out of control in filming?
Never. Never been out of control. Let's not talk about the Philippines. I swear it was Chris Penn.
So in this movie, you never did anything unexpected, like in the filming of this?
Oh yeah, the window thing, right. First of all, I had these ostrich skin boots on. There were 20 llamas in there, right? Yeah. And I was laying in the back of this car, I think the cop car, and I was in handcuffs, and there was a guy next to me, and I was kind of laying in the back seat. They had arrested me, and you know, you're laying around, waiting for them to set the camera up. And I'm looking at that window, and I'm going, wow, I could stop that fucking thing. I could just break that out. That'd be bizarre. And, you know, and it went, so the window disappeared. I mean, I put my foot through that thing, and it was gone, you know, and people would just go. It was, you know, but you could do things like that, and it was encouraged.
It certainly worked, and it made it a super successful film. It was a big deal, and it was shown in tons of theaters, and it played for a long time, made a lot of money. Did you ever get recognized on the street as like, oh, there's that ramrod guy?
I still get it. Although a guy came up today and was talking to you right in front of me, and he was talking about Vice Squad, you know, are you out there?
You were sitting in the back row. I don't know how you, but
it was so sweet. I was standing right there, and the guy just recognized me. I was like going, wow, man, Ramrod's standing right in front of you. So, but yeah, you get. I still get that, you know. I get Ramrod every now and then. Yeah, and it's bizarre people, you know, and some nice people. You know?
Anybody ever give you any professional tips like, oh, well, pimps don't do that?
Well, I'll tell you. During this period, and you know, a lot of actors want to study, you know, and find out, you know, the reality of it. So I hooked up with a white pimp, which was, they're very rare at that time, you know. I mean, and when you find out, as opposed to today, they're all out there. But back then, it's like, and the white pimp was the most vicious, and in Hollywood, what this white pimp did, he took me down to the bus station. And you go, and in Hollywood, you know, it's like people come from all over the world, runaways, you know, and they're going to come and they got the stars in their eyes, and 2 weeks later they're cooking, you know, and it's hell. I mean, it really is a sad side of Hollywood. And he would take it, you go to the bus station, you go, you see that one, I could have her on the streets in 24 hours. And that one right there, I got her, you know. And I mean, they worked it and worked it and worked it. And, you know, they referred to them as their moneymakers. They're just horrible people, you know. I don't know, but I don't know what I got out of him other than I hated him. And, you know, it was just like I was raising a daughter kind of by myself at the time. And, you know, it was, you know, you see what, when you raise a daughter, man, you see the way women are treated. You can't help it, you know, it's just ugly, you know. So and during that period, after My Slut came out, I got mail. Back then, they had mail, and I got mail from people who were saying, thank you for doing this. You know, not that much, but a couple of, you know, times you got these really touching letters from a mother or something, saying thank you. You know, my daughter was, you know, a runaway, and she's come home, you know. So, you know, you felt pretty good about it. That was a nice thing.
And from playing a pimp, did you ever have the professional satisfaction of like an actual pimp saying, well, you got it, you nailed it?
In New York. It was in 1981, when New York was, you know, completely different. I mean, the streets were very tough and scary. And I'd gone to New York with this friend of mine, Gary Swanson, who played Walsh in this. So we went and saw half of the film with a black audience. I don't know if any of you have seen a film with a black audience, but it's amazing. I mean, they taught, there's a community that just is so much fun. They were so engaged with the film. And they're just like screaming, kill that son of a bitch, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. And halfway through it, Gary and I go, we should leave. I'm out of here. But I don't know, a day or two later, I'm walking by Central Park, and this guy goes, you're Ramrod. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to die. He goes, this is my park, and you can walk in at any day, any time of night. This is your park. I'm like, this is great. I didn't take him up on it. Went back to the book.
You've been a working actor for a lot of years. You played a lot of 45 years. And you played a lot of parts. This one, this has a cult of its own, obviously. It's found its place. How do you feel about? I mean, your performance is exceptional, and nobody could ever say it's not. But as an actor, when you look back and say, well, this kind of little movie that I made, you know,
I'm absolutely honored and surprised. You know, really, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to bust the bubble on acting, but you know what you see today, coming out of you know, our industry, what you see is just like a shift. Because there are caring, hardworking people. The majority of the crew, 99% of the crew, are hardworking people, man. These people just dedicate their lives to this stuff, you know, as you guys do. Like, you know, we got the Lindsays and the Charlies, and, you know, these people who get all the headlines, and you don't see, you know, the good hardworking people of our industry. So, what was I saying?
You're talking about like your long career in acting and Fight Squad's place, and you're saying you're going to burst the bubble in acting.
Oh, well, you know, you spend most of your time worried about the same things everybody else is worried about. And then somebody calls and says, you want to come to Austin? Because there are people who would actually come see the thing you did 30 years ago. And yet you come here. You come to a place like this, you know, I mean, it's an honor. It really is. It's very touching. And you know, I'm not bullshitting either. It's like, you know, you sit there, you go, God, this is sweet. This is nice. So yeah, you know, these are the little rewards. Getting your Screen Actors Guild card, it's a major moment in an actor's life. You know, you sit there and you go away by yourself. You know, you go, wow, I'm in a community here. You know, getting paid. Getting your first chair with your name on it, you know? These little things, you know, just are like major. You know, be invited with you guys, and then you see this and love it. It's just, you know, I don't have words. Even these guys, you know, do a terrible job.
I'm sorry, you guys.
They were wonderful. The guy in the mask, I didn't know if he was a wrestler or not. No, you know, I mean, it's a bizarre, a little weird song, you know. But
You wrote.
I didn't write it. Oh, you're saying, yeah. The hustle and the muscle, man. But you know, this is it's just great. Enough of the modern stuff. Yeah.
We're so happy to have you. I can't even tell you, and I know everybody here loves you.